Tulsi Gabbard, she was on The View today. It was great. All right? Great they had her back. Great opportunity for her. Now, the first time that Tulsi Gabbard went on The View, not so great. Not so great, guys. Contentious. A lot of smearing going on for Megan McCain, okay? Well, not really a great opportunity, but they were able to see that she could deal with a confrontational host that's being unfair, and she handled it with class and dignity, and it was great in its own way. But this, but this time things were a little bit different. I have a clip of Tulsi Gabbard on The View. I don't have the whole clip. You want to see the whole clip? Go to The View on YouTube. She was there for about 20 minutes. It's really cool. Check out this clip that I do have. Think it's important, and then we'll talk about it.
Congresswoman, the lineup for the next Democratic debate was just announced, and this time you're going to be on stage with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. You called her attack on Biden a political ploy. I pressed her on this when she was on the show a few weeks ago. I want to know, do you expect more confrontations this time around? And will you call it for what it is like you did last time?
I will continue to call it for what it is. I think that voters across this country deserve to see the contrasting positions that we have amongst our candidates in the Democratic primary. Attacks just for the sake, personal attacks just for the sake of trying to push yourself forward in the campaign, I think are underhanded.
Is that what you think Kamala did?
I do. I mean, really, when it came out, her position was the same as what Biden is saying his position is. But the thing that I'm looking forward to doing at the debates, and it's an important platform to have this opportunity in front of millions of people, is really to talk about some of the things we discussed today about the most important responsibility the president has as commander-in-chief. And the experience that I bring, both as a soldier for over 16 years, deploying twice to the Middle East, serving in Congress almost 7 years on foreign affairs, armed services, homeland security committees. I have more experience in this area that prepare me to do that job of commander-in-chief on day one than the vast majority of candidates combined. And this worries me at a deeply personal level because as a soldier, we've seen the consequence of having a president who has no experience in foreign policy, doesn't know what the consequences of decisions that he or she will be making.
Well, talking about that, you weren't a participant in the debate the night that every Democrat on stage raised their hands for giving all undocumented immigrants health care. Do you support that?
I think it's the wrong question to ask.
What is the right question?
The right question to ask is how we change our immigration policy so that we don't have millions of people who are living in the shadows who are undocumented. We have to make it so that, A, there is a path to legal residency or citizenship for those who are currently here so they can come out from the shadows. They're not dealing with this uncertainty that they have now, and that we actually reform this broken immigration system that really has not yet been reformed for purely political reasons. Make it so that there is an easier avenue for those who want to visit here or
could one say that
residency.
These undocumented immigrants are getting health care by going to emergency rooms anyway?
And that's driving up the cost of care.
So that's the thing that needs to be corrected.
It does need to be corrected, but again, I think it's important for us to stop reacting to the crisis of the moment, and we have to deal with these deeper-seated issues, otherwise they will never, ever be solved.
Very quickly, do you support decriminalizing border crossings?
That's something that I'm looking at. Now, I want to just make a brief comment on that because
20 seconds.
Decriminalizing could lead to open borders. Okay. We need safe, secure borders in this country.
Thank you for your
and
service.
We need to
only
reform our
combat
laws.
veteran running for president.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, that was different. Not exactly the cold, ice, frigid welcome that she had the first time she came on there. It's almost congenial. Megan was almost, dare I say, bubbly. All right, listen, guys. Tulsi Gabbard, look, guys, I want to make sure people understand what was said here, right? Tulsi Gabbard basically is putting Kamala Harris on notice that come the debate, she going to call you out.
Attacks just for the sake, personal attacks just for the sake of trying to push yourself forward in the campaign, I think are underhanded.
Is that what you think Kamala did?
I do. I mean, really, when it came out, her position was the same as what Biden is saying his position is.
Yeah. You better come ready, Kamala, because I will call it out again. Tulsi Gabbard didn't blink nor flinch. Well, Tim, she is a soldier. And not in that Pete Buttigieg way either. You know, you're talking about several deployment soldier. I saw somebody say, well, because, you know, on the View they said, well, you know, this is our first combat vet. And somebody was like, well, Pete Buttigieg's a vet. Yeah, for like 2 seconds. Pete was there like in summer school, like a, you know, Tulsi's she's showing her gravitas. She's like, look, I have more foreign, more military experience than all of the other, you know, candidates combined. I think that includes Pete. Guys, you know I've been looking. Look, I'm not going to run from it, guys. I told you I didn't like Tulsi Gabbard calling out Kamala. I felt that anything between Kamala and Joe Biden, let that be. I feel that Joe Biden's, he has a track record of horrible policies that he championed for in the 90s that he should have to deal with. And I don't know, I didn't understand why Tulsi Gabbard felt it was important for her to jump in and punch at Kamala over the busing issue. When I listened to the rhetoric that Joe Biden spewed back when he was working with segregationists in order to continue segregation in our schools, he wasn't talking about helping make black kids' schools better. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like busing, but Joe Biden's reason wasn't like, hey, we don't like busing, but we need to help these black schools be better schools. We need to end redlining. We need to end the housing crisis, the housing discrimination that puts black people in these clusters that are poverty-stricken clusters where they don't have the money because the taxes are based on what makes schools better. So not to make this long drawn out, I just did not see why Tulsi Gabbard felt it was necessary to jump in there on Joe Biden. But now I think I see why. And once again, this is just me paying attention to it, me having an opinion. In my opinion, I think that Tulsi Gabbard has her eyes set on knocking Kamala Harris down a bit. And just like Joe Biden, who has a track record that deserves a lot of scrutiny and some questions, so does Kamala Harris. So I'm looking forward to Tulsi Gabbard forcing the issue.
How we change our immigration policy so that we don't have millions of people who are living in the shadows who are undocumented. We have to make it so that, A, there is a path to legal residency or citizenship for those who are currently here so they can come out from the shadows. They're not dealing with this uncertainty that they have now, and that we actually reform this broken immigration system that really has not yet been reformed for purely political reasons.
The pathway to citizenship, I'm feeling it. I'm not one of those people that think that deportation of undocumented immigrants is going to solve all the problems of the black community, though I'm a very strong proponent for improving things in the black community. I'm outspoken on that. I'm a black man with a black wife, with black kids, with black parents, who lived in black neighborhoods, who still lives in a black but sort of diverse, but still mostly black community right now to this day. I'm speaking to you from that. I'm not one of these people that claim another identity. This is who I am. This is what I bring to the table. It's part of what makes me who I am. That being said, I'm not one of those people that believe that we need to just get rid of all these undocumented people and that's going to make life better. Because under Obama, there were more deportations than there are now. And look where we are. Look where we were. Look where we are. It did not help us when Obama was rounding up thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of undocumented people and sending them away. The federal government still had no legislation to help raise black people up from the bottom. You get what I'm saying? I think they're separate issues. And I don't like when people feed on that. All it does is further divide us. I don't come to that conclusion willy-nilly. The data's there. Under Obama, the last 8 years, there were mass deportations. Did black people benefit from that? If not, then why do you think they're going to benefit from it now? It's just something Trump and the Republicans and certain people are selling to you. Now, the question about will you decriminalize border crossing?
Never, ever be solved.
Very quickly, do you support decriminalizing border crossings?
That's something that I'm looking at. Now, I want to just make a brief comment on that because
20
I think
seconds.
Decriminalizing could lead to open borders.
Okay.
We need safe, secure borders in this country.
Thank you for your
it appears that Tulsi Gabbard, she said, I don't want to, let me speak to that. And then she kind of started elaborating. She didn't really have enough time to flesh that out. We do realize the decriminalization of illegal border crossing is why we have children in cages, right? We have family separation because of the decriminalization of border crossing. If you criminalize it, you make it a criminal act instead of a civil act, then you're going to have families separated because families don't typically go to jail together. Like, we don't have jails built for families, do we? So I'm kind of missing, maybe something I'm missing here. Isn't part of the reason we have family separation that we have criminalized illegal border crossing? That the Trump administration has treated anyone who enters the country without going through the proper channels as a criminal. And if you do that, then the parents have to go to jail, right? Maybe that'll be something I asked Tulsi Gabbard when we had that conversation, that interview we talked about having. People are waiting on it. It's possible that Tulsi Gabbard has a strategy for what she's doing with Kamala Harris. I hope it is to call out Kamala Harris. I have no qualms that Kamala Harris been called on the carpet for her policies and for what she's done the last 20 years. I feel the same way about Joe Biden too. Good show. Oh, and Megan McCain. Oh, wait for you to kind of switch things up and yeah. And guys, I'm a little concerned here with Megan McCain being nice to Tulsi Gabbard all of a sudden. I don't know what this is. What's going on? All right. Anyway, good job, Tulsi Gabbard, once again. Good job. I don't agree with everything that was said here, but maybe there needs to be more time. And obviously that last question, 20 seconds isn't enough time to bring in nuance about how you feel about it and also to explain. So you don't always have to agree with somebody, but you have to understand their thought process and why they feel the way they feel. And I don't think she was given enough time. I don't think that question should have been asked when you only got 20 seconds left. Not if you want a meaningful conversation. But let's keep it 100. If you want a meaningful conversation, you wouldn't be on The View. I mean, if The View wanted meaningful conversations, they probably wouldn't be in existence because that's not what The View's about, and that's not what gives them ratings. They want sound bites that destroy or uplift and that titillate the masses, not an in-depth analysis dialogue that's actually helpful, informing an opinion about these political candidates. This is why I remind you that this show is brought to you by you, and you are very good stewards of it. I want to thank everybody who's my Patreon, who supports this show, who help keeps it going and rolling and live streaming on these multiple platforms. We do our best to try to get the word out. I want to thank you for being a part of it. Join us at patreon.com, Tim's Take Live, or join me on Facebook, or join me on YouTube. There's a button you can click where you can become a subscriber, a paid subscriber, $5 a month. You're going to get exclusive content that everyone else doesn't get. You're going to get all the links to all of the full shows, including Freedom Friday, very popular show we do. Last Freedom Friday was 3 hours long. And you're going to get access to that and much more, and more freebies, more giveaways, more cool swag stuff, more Wolfpack gear. And not only that, you become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack community, which I think is pretty special because we are real people that care about each other. We know each other and we care about each other. So become a part of that.